Weather. What's the weather like today? O que será que a gente vai trabalhar hoje? Now let's see. What's the weather like? Is it rainy? Is it windy? Is it stormy? Or is it sunny? In this picture, the weather is sunny. So it's sunny. It's sunny. What about this one? What's the weather like today? It's windy. And here, it's partly cloudy. Partly cloudy. It's partly cloudy. It's cloudy. Totally cloudy. It's foggy. It's foggy. It's stormy. It's stormy. And in this picture here, it's rainy. It's rainy. In this picture, it's lightning. It's lightning. Hail. Ice rocks. Hail. It's snowy. It's snowy. Blue. Cold. It's icy. It's icy. It's hot. It's hot. Well, it's warm. It's warm. It's cool. It's cool. It's cold. It's cold. And in this picture, it's freezing. It's freezing. Quick review. What's the weather like? It's sunny. It's hot. What's the weather like? It's, you answer. What's the weather like? Tic-tac, tic-tac. Yes, that it's rainy. What's the weather like? Now it's your turn. What's the weather like? Okay, it's snowy. It's freezing. What's the weather like? What's the weather like? It's stormy. What's the weather like? It's lightning. Medo. What's the weather like? It's windy. It's windy. Now, weather report. Weather report é o que a gente geralmente acompanha para a gente ver como é que vai ficar o nosso weather. Se vai ter sol, sun, se vai ter rain. Yeah? So, let's see. What's the weather like in Cape Town? What's the weather like in Cape Town? It's rainy and warm. It's sunny and hot. It's windy and cool. Let's see. So, what's the weather like in Cape Town? It's sunny and hot. What's the weather like in New York? It's cloudy and cool. It's rainy and warm. Or it's windy and cool. So, what's the weather like in New York? It's cloudy and cool. And here in China, what's the weather like in Beijing? It's stormy and warm. It's rainy and warm. Or it's windy and cool. So what's the weather like in Beijing? It's windy and cool. What's the weather like in Mexico City? It's stormy and warm. It's warm with sunny intervals. It's rainy and warm. So it's rainy and warm. Beautiful city. What's the weather like in London? It's stormy and warm. It's foggy and cold. It's windy and cold. So it's foggy and cold. What's the weather like in Yakutsk? In Japan, I think. It's frosty and freezing. Icy and freezing. It's stormy and warm. Or it's snowy and cold. It's frosty and freezing. What's the weather like in Sydney? It's cloudy and warm. It's stormy and warm. It's snowy and cold. Let's see. Oh, it's stormy and warm. Guys, I'm afraid. What's the weather like in Buenos Aires? It's cloudy and warm. It's partly cloudy and hot. It's snowy and cold. It's hot with sunny intervals. What's the weather like in Helsinki? It's cloudy and cool. It's rainy and cold. It's snowy and cold. It's snowy and cold. Now you, what's the weather like in Jaraguá do Sul? It's sunny, it's cold, it's hot, it's rainy. Answer the teacher, please. Thank you so much for watching.